Konnichiwa, aloha, hello, hola, como estas, tudo bem? What it do? Welcome to the J-Boy Sports Podcast. Please like, share, and subscribe. Even if you don't like this video at the end, you should still like, share, and subscribe because you want to help a brother out, man. Let's be good people. It doesn't cost you anything. Help a brother out. What we're going to discuss today is actually a little snippet from a podcast that I really love listening to. One of the podcasts that made me think to myself, like, you know what? I need to start doing this too because I think I have some really good ideas. Let's see what the people think. Was Skap Attack. And I think the guy's full name is Jay Skapernick, I believe. Hopefully I didn't mess it up. I really like a lot of his videos, and I would watch them and say to myself, man, this guy knows this is exactly some of the stuff that I'm talking about. And overall, I have no issue with any of his videos. I watch a lot of them. Every time he puts out a video, I'm watching it. But there was recently something that he's been talking about that's very near and dear to him. He's a big-time Nikola Jokic fan. I call him Joker so much, forget what his real name is. And there's nothing wrong with that. I absolutely love Joker. Joker is already easily one of the best players I've ever seen. However, I do have some reservations on certain things when it comes to Joker. For years, I've been telling my friends how good he was before everybody accepted it because I liked what I saw from the Nuggets. I like Jamal Murray also, but when it comes to Joker, as great as he is, I also do feel like a little bit the time period helps him. He's not playing against Shaq, David Robinson, Patrick Ewing. He's not even playing against guys like Vlade Divac and Sarunas Sabonis. He's not, and those are second-tier guys, but he's just not getting banged around. Like, he's not going into every game knowing he's going to have to bang with a bunch of big dudes like a lot of these guys had to in the past. And I really think that helps him. But, I mean, talent-wise, he's amazing. There's no doubt about it. One of the most prolific offensive players that we've seen, but also, again, like I said, I'm not so dogmatic about it that if somebody came to me and said, well, what about the time period? You do have to factor that in at least a little bit. I have to be honest. But Skap Attack, one of the things that I did like about him, which is a little different, he's a big-time Kobe Bryant fan. I'm a big-time Kobe Bryant fan as well, and that's initially what drew me to his videos, but one of the things that I've noticed recently is he's been doing a lot more statistics. He's been using a lot more statistics. And I don't have a problem with statistics overall, but I do think that people can fall so far into statistics that they're not looking at the actual game. Now, I'm not saying Jay Skapernick is doing the Skap Attack. I'm not saying he's not looking at the game. I would not say that. I think he's very knowledgeable about the game. But I do think a little bit he's running away with the stats when it comes to Joker. And I get it. He fills the box score. And he looks at the per and all that stuff. And I get it. I get it. But I do think recently I heard one of his videos. And I wanted to push back a little bit in a respectful way. We can both be men and agree to disagree. And so he started saying some things along the line of Joker should leave Denver. And at one point I think he had mentioned joining up with Giannis, and I don't think he's not gonna do that in this clip, but I did see a video where he had mentioned that. At least I don't think he does it in this clip. Let's actually check out the clip, and then we'll go from there, instead of me telling you everything.
For some reason, which is still unbeknownst to me, some reason that I will never personally understand, more than likely, Nikola Jokic, after this first round ousting, this humiliation that we're going to see here in this first round, is for whatever reason going to sign a 3-year extension this summer, or at least that's what people close to the situation are speculating. I don't understand it. Nikola Jokic should demand a trade immediately when this series ends. If I were him, I wouldn't even wait for the series to end. I would be asking for a trade right now. I haven't seen the post-game presser. He should step to that post-game podium, though, tonight and just demand a trade right now. Is it too late to get a trade right now? I mean, yes, the trade deadline is over, but once this series is mercifully over, it's time for Nikola Jokic to start thinking about the next phase of his career, because if he signs this extension, this is what it's going to be. More of the same. It will be Nikola Jokic likely retiring after 15, 16, 17 years in Denver, and never playing with a single all-star caliber player. And if I were Nikola Jokic, my tenure in Denver would also be all but over.
And so that's Jay Skapernick from the great channel Skap Attack explaining what he thinks should happen with Nikola Jokic. And I have to respectfully disagree. And the reason that I will respectfully disagree is because Joker, to me, and even Giannis by extension, these players are elite. The numbers that they put up are crazy, but it's not just about the numbers. They managed to do something that LeBron James never did, never could do. Without running around the league, without making a bunch of excuses, they won championships on the skin of their own backs, right? Where they started is where they won their championships. Without running around, crying and complaining about teammates, throwing teammates under the bus. You don't hear Giannis or Joker doing that. You've also heard Giannis specifically say, listen, we wanted to win the right way and we did that. And I think Joker wants to win the right way and he wants to do that too. Joker is not from this country, okay? So in his mind, he doesn't make a whole bunch of excuses. He's not always crying and complaining. And I hate to say it, but that's what we've become as Americans, a lot of us. It's just a lot of crying and complaining. We always want the easy way. We always want to take shortcuts. We want things to work in our favor selfishly. We never want to look at anything else outside of ourselves. And Joker's not built that way. He loves his teammates. Even though Mike Malone is no longer there, he never said he had a personal problem with Mike Malone. And part of the issue with the foreign players, I will say, is that in some ways, they're a little bit too go along with whatever is going on. I think there's a balance. I think there's a balance where you come out and say, listen, don't get rid of my coach. You know, where you take the Michael Jordan route and say, if he goes, I'm out of here too. Right? I'm okay with hearing that. But when you're crying, complaining, you better trade me because I don't want to work hard no more, which is what a lot of them seem to be doing, then I disagree because you're kind of leading you're leading Joker down that path, Mr. Skapernick. Okay? Skapernick, excuse me. Sorry. Your name is different, so I messed it up a little bit. You're leading him down that path. And one of the reasons, like I said, that I loved Skap Attack's channel is he called out LeBron James for that same exact stuff. He called LeBron out for team hopping. He called LeBron out for trying to stack the deck against everybody else and then complain when he didn't win or things didn't go the way he wanted. He tries to do revisionist history now about 2011. Oh, we were just two people. At first, we were three people, and we really didn't have the parts. Now, Rich Paul comes out and says, oh, we're two people, and Bosh wasn't really a third, and we weren't really built right to win right away. That's why we lost in 2011. You lost in 2011 because J.J. Barea and Jason Terry were putting a hurt on your boy. That's why you lost. And he only had 8 points in game whatever to close out that series. That's why you lost. You take any other superstar and put them in that situation, and I think the Heat win that series. Pick your superstar. I don't give a dang if it was Carmelo Anthony, who's never won one. You might have even been able to plug James Harden in there, and he would have got more than 8 points, maybe. So now, Jay, me and you are guys from that tree of Kobe who we don't make excuses. We don't leave. We don't run from tough times, right? If you can be there for the good times, you can be there for the bad times. You work your way up. And you're telling Joker to go against that Mamba mentality by telling him to just run and hide because he doesn't like his team. So I completely disagree with that. I don't want to see that for Joker. I want guys to stay on their team. If you're great, you should stay on your team forever. Nobody wanted to see Hakeem Olajuwon on the Raptors or Patrick Ewing on the Seattle Supersonics. You didn't want to see that. Look at what happened to Dwight Howard once he left Orlando. His back got messed up. He was never the same player again. Has James Harden been the same player since he left the Rockets? Has Russ been the same player since he left OKC? Has Kevin Durant really? Yes, he got to Golden State and he took over the world there. I'll give you that. But outside of Golden State, because Steph is such an all-time great, what has Kevin Durant done? There's no shortcuts to success. And yes, LeBron probably has been the most successful at it overall, but he still, to me, in my opinion, looks ridiculous. To be that good, needing all that help, running around all over the place, because you can't win on your strength of your own back, is crazy. If you're that good, like, you can't tell me somebody like LeBron or KD is so great, but they can't win without a lot of help and running around the league to the best situation. And even then, they don't always win. Find me the guy that's like, I'm going to stay where I'm at. I'm going to win my championships. I have high hopes for people like Joker, Giannis, Jason Tatum, and Jaylen Brown. They already got one. You don't got to go crazy, man. Your one is worth more to me than pretty much all of LeBron James and KD's rings, in my opinion. Nobody else has to like what I said. We can agree to disagree. That's just how I look at it, because they did it on the strength of their own backs. Dirk Nowitzki, Kobe Bryant, Michael Jordan, Tim Duncan, Larry Bird, Magic Johnson. They got it done where they were at from day one. That's much harder than, oh, let me run to the next situation. Joker's shown you already that he's that elite, that he can win exactly where he's at. So that needs to be applauded. They don't need to be running all over the place. And the last thing, I'm just going to share this last little snippet here. This is Kobe Bryant's last speech. Listen to what he said at the end.
I think the most important part is that we all stay together throughout. You know, I grew up a diehard Laker fan. Diehard. I mean, I knew everything about every player that's ever played here. So to be drafted and then traded to this organization and to spend 20 years here, I mean, you can't write something better than this. And I'm more proud of the fact that not about the championships, but about the down years. Because we didn't run. We didn't run. We played through all that stuff, and we got our championships, and we did it the right way. And all I can do here is just thank you guys. Thank you guys for all the years of support. Thank you guys for all the motivation. Thank you for all the inspiration.
And so that's Kobe Bryant and the last speech that he gave as a Laker. As a player, an active player. He'll always be a Laker, but as an active player, in his 60-point game, that was his speech. And if you notice, he said, what stood out to me the most is that we stuck together. You know, we won the championships, but in the down years, we stuck together. And yeah, I know there's people who's going to say, well, he was going to leave. Fine, but he didn't. And the illustration or the, I always compare that to, I'm a married man. I could say, let's say me and my wife have a bad argument. This didn't happen, but I'm just saying if we did, right? And I said, you know what? I'm leaving. I'm out. And I start packing up my stuff. And, you know, I'm mad. And I want to leave. But then I sit down. I get my thoughts together. Maybe I say a little prayer or something like that. And I say, you know what? I'm not leaving my family. I'm not leaving my wife. I'm not leaving my son. I'm not leaving my family. What am I doing? Where am I going to go? Where is it going to be better? And, you know, sometimes we get in our own head and we're like, yo, this is ridiculous. Like, you get mad at something or somebody or, you know, and you know it should be better than this. Even in our relationships, like I just said, you could be married, a girlfriend, you know, a boyfriend, whatever you have. And you could sit there and be like, you know, this should be better. This should be better. But what are you doing? Are you going to be a coward? Are you going to run away? Or are you going to commit to something and work through it and deal with the ups and the downs? There's nothing better in life than something you had to work for, working out the way you always envisioned it. And you didn't give up and you didn't quit. Now, there's times when you got to walk away. I'm not saying there's never times, right? But if you talk to most people that have pushed through the hard times in their relationships and given situations, those are the people that are the most successful. Almost every time. So I'm never going to encourage players to run from the grind, especially great players like Joker, who've already proven that they can win with what they have. You know? And Mr. Skap Attack, I know you don't like the Nuggets as a team, and I get it, man. But at the end of the day, Jamal Murray is a very good player. He's got his ups and downs also, but when they won that championship, he was on fire. And even in these playoffs against the Clippers so far, he's been good. Aaron Gordon is a championship-level piece. I just recently saw something that the interim coach said about Aaron Gordon and how good he is. And he just had the game-winning put-back dunk. He's got elite athleticism and elite defense, in my opinion. Michael Porter Jr. is a very good player as well. He's up and he's down. I know sometimes things don't look that great. He doesn't always have the best games. But ultimately, it's not always going to be that easy for you to get in the groove when you play with a great player like Joker, who has more of a Luka Doncic, LeBron James, James Harden type game. Even though I think he's the smoothest out of all of them, it's still similar in that they do so much on the court that where do you fit in? It's hard to figure that out sometimes. Michael Porter Jr. is just relegated to a jump shooter in the corner, but he's 6'10". Maybe he could dribble more. Maybe he could do some things more if he played with another player. And I'm not taking a shot at Joker. I'm just saying that is what it is. So I love Joker. I want to see good things happen for Joker. But I don't want to see him leave his team and run around like a crazy reptilian mongoose hybrid. I don't want to see him take the LeBron James and KD route, the James Harden route, the Russ route, the KD route. I think I said KD already, but just in case. That has not benefited these guys. The only person that's somewhat benefited is LeBron. But that's because he bought up the media so he can get them to say good things about him. But ultimately, it hasn't really been that great for him. He doesn't have the respect that he would have had if he did it the way Joker did it, the way Giannis did it, the way Kobe, the way Duncan, the way Jordan, the way Dirk did it. So don't take that away from Joker, man. Don't even encourage that, please. And I'm just saying that respectfully once again. We can agree to disagree, but I just felt like somebody's got to push back on that a little bit. Otherwise, love your stuff, Skap. Have no problem with it. But in this case, let's not go down the LeBron James route. That's part of what has made this whole, debate about who's the best players of all time so murky. Because you got guys running around now, dudes like KD that got 2 championships, that maybe if you look at everything else, they shouldn't have 2 championships. Maybe LeBron shouldn't have 4 championships. And then we wouldn't have this struggle of like, oh, is he as good as Kobe? Oh, is he as good as Kobe? Oh, is he better than Melo? Is he better than Magic? Is he better than Duncan? The only reason why we're having some of these discussions is because these guys took shortcuts and ran all over the league. And now we don't really know. And I know personally for me, I lose respect for people that do that, picking great situations to make things better. You show me the guy that puts his hard hat on, that puts his big boy underwear on, pulls them up, straps his boots on tight, goes to work, and just keeps grinding at it, busting his behind, getting better every single day, sacrificing more and more to be at the top. There is no great rewards without pain and sacrifice. And those that go through the ultimate pain and the ultimate sacrifice deserve to be at the top. And it's not these guys that are running around, showboating left and right, not wanting to play through the tough times, trying to put themselves in great position. The greatest players didn't always have the greatest positions, didn't always have the greatest situations, but they made it work. They made it work, and they became that much more elite because they could do that. So that's all I have to say about that. Shout out to Skap. There's so many great videos that he has. This video was good too. It's not that it was bad, but I just wanted to push back on how I see that because I really would hate that for Joker. Thank you very much for your time. Please like, share, and subscribe. Don't click off immediately because we have some other great suggested videos that I know you will love. So please like, share, and subscribe. Thank you very much for your time. Very humble. Much love.